Hi, I learned something new and I have to share it with everyone now because I'm very excited about it. I was having some trouble with something with regard to knitting and I had help from the community, so I wanted to pay it forward and help anybody else who was having the same problem as I was having. So I posted a video recently, a short or an Instagram reel, about the fact that I was having trouble knitting with the working yarn in my left hand. Oh my god. It's like, how do you... People do this so easily. How do you... I'm somebody who learned how to knit with the throwing method, and then I learned flicking. However, I started to do color work and I wanted to learn how to knit with one strand in each hand so I could do this faster. And so then I posted a video about how I was struggling. First of all, I want to pass on a message that really helped me and reframe my way of thinking about just this work in general, or this hobby in general, is some sage words of advice from my friend Crochet Nanigans over on Instagram and YouTube. She was mentioning to me that, you know what, you don't have to learn everything. Like, if you have a comfortable way of knitting and it works, it works. Like, you don't need to learn all the things all the time. And I think that really resonates now, especially because I feel like on Instagram and YouTube, like just social media, everybody who's knitting now seems to be just flying when they knit with the yarn in their left hand. And anybody who learned, like I did, to knit with the yarn in your right hand, by the way, I know that there are correct terms for this, which is like continental in English. I'm not there. I get them confused. So I'm just going to use basic terms, left hand or right hand. And it seems like everybody knows how to knit with the yarn in your left hand, and people are flying and you're like, it's hard not to be like, oh, I want to do that too, and I want to fit in and it's trendy and I want to do the thing, like what am I missing out on? But you don't have to. Like, there's no reason that you need to do that if you don't need to. So at least for me, when I read that, I was like, okay, that alleviated some pressure from me to think that like I had to do everything the same way that everyone else was. Simultaneously, in parallel, I was also receiving some tips that did end up helping me, and that's what I want this video to be about. Everything that I learned that helped me and the mistakes that I was making in an effort to help you if you're trying to learn. Let me set this up. We're gonna be a little obstructed, but I think it'll be okay. So the first thing that someone was mentioning to me when I was struggling, I think I'm on this one. No, I'm on this one. Oh, look at the pattern. Isn't that cool? It's a skull. Okay, so when I was doing this the first time, I was doing it like this because when I was knitting like this with the with the pattern on the outside, I was having hand cramps and I ended up just doing most of my knitting this way with the right side on the inside of the round. And that was actually like so much of my problem. So here, look, I was having trouble picking up the yarn because look, I couldn't pick it up and I was getting so frustrated. Oh, I could now. You could sometimes. I could sometimes, but I was getting so frustrated because look, I couldn't pick up the yarn, right? I felt like I was just pushing it. And the reason is because of physics. In order to have the tip of your needle go up, you need to have the back end of your needle go down. And I was not able to do that because my round is so small, I think. So when I heard the tip from my new friend over on YouTube to have it so that the right side is facing out, it allows you to actually go deeper and up because you're able to push this part of your needle back down. So that's some physics lesson for you all. If you want to go up, you got to go down. So see that? And I know I'm also not like, I wouldn't call this cheating, but I've also been able to more comfortably help the needle and help the yarn with my other hand. So just use all what you got. That's another tip from me. Use everything that you have available to you. Sometimes I will even like help and split the yarn, you know, split the stitch where I'm trying to get the yarn through and be able to do that. So that was a huge game changer for me in learning how to do this, being able to actually pick up the yarn with my needle. The other thing was from my dear friend Carly. I was doing this because that's how I hold my yarn when I'm crocheting, right? But she recommended that I actually flip my finger around because when I was doing this, I just felt like, I feel like it's just too far and it's harder to control. You see that? It's like a little bit harder to control. But if you flip your finger around, you can get it closer to your project and then be able to pick up the yarn. The other thing, sorry, I keep losing my stitch. The other thing that she recommended was get closer to the needles. Because I was like way out here sometimes, but that was also admittedly like a problem with how frustrated I was. I don't know why it would happen, but I would keep like getting farther and farther away from my project. So she recommended that I stay close to the project and it would allow me to pick up the stitches more easily. So you see that I'm actually able to like do it now, and you could manipulate this any way you want to, as long as you stay close, keep the yarn close, and be able to have that flexibility in this needle to be able to go up and down as you need. See, now I know how to do it. I'm a lot more comfortable about it now. Isn't that crazy? So look, I will just show you the progress. So, oops. So I think that what I was doing when I had filmed that video earlier, I was only like up to here, and I think that was like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Maybe that was 2 weeks ago. And look how much I've gotten. So from here to here was like months. And then from here to here was just the past couple of weeks. Granted, I've dedicated more time to it, but it's still impressive to me. So I'm actually able to do it faster by being able to use both hands. The other thing that Carly told me, which I'm finding is true, so I know that there's a whole thing about color dominance and whatever, but I'm finding that to be true, at least what I heard. So if you want, whichever color you want to stick out, put that in your left hand. So in my case, I want the white to stand out. And then whichever color you want to be in the background, put that in your left hand. And I can actually see that happening, because if you look at, so previously I didn't pay attention to whichever color was more dominant, whatever. I was just switching willy-nilly. And I think you can see that in this area here. And it's like bumpy, oddly, like this area has an odd bump. I don't understand what happened. But if you look here, I feel like it's a lot more consistent. And yes, it could be attributed to the fact that I'm getting better at it now, so it's just more like consistent. I'm still a pretty tight knitter though. I need to loosen up a little bit. But look, I feel like the white stands out more. Is that just, I don't know if it's visible, but I can feel it. Like, you know how there's a ridge here and it's the gray, which I don't think I want. I don't know why that happened. It's on both sides actually. Is it on this one? Yeah, so whatever I was doing, I was at least consistent about it. There's this gray ridge here, so I don't think it's a placebo effect because I can see where I didn't want it. And then here in the mouth, I feel like the teeth part are recessed. Isn't that crazy? Or it's not crazy, it's meant to be. But okay, I have 3 more skulls to make, and I'm a little nervous about, I don't know how to do the heel and stuff. There's instructions, they look really confusing. So I don't know, I might ask for more help. I hope that was helpful. It helped me, and I really just wanted to be able to pay it forward to anyone else who was trying to learn the same thing. Again, no pressure if you don't want it. You don't have to learn how to do this. It was helpful for me because I'm able to get through this more quickly. So if it's helpful for you for the same reason, please go ahead and give my tips a shot. Let me know if you like this video by clicking the like button on this video, and give me a subscribe if you want to see more content like this. All right, I'll chat with you soon. Bye.